Hey guys, Gogs are here, and welcome to the.
Have we lost Gogsy? That's it.
I do not know what's just happened there.
Which one of Lachlan, you and I are going to be like Gogsy standing?
All right, I'm Goggsy. Nice to see you all again. It's been 6 months since I've done this, so you can tell a bit rusty.
Jesus Christ, I don't know what happened to the cam, but that'll be going straight in the bloopers. But yeah, welcome to the first live stream.
And he's gone again.
We may have to continue that. So I think welcome to the first live stream.
Am I Goggsy again?
Yeah, you can be Goggsy if you want. You go for it. We can move it around, right?
You need to do your hair a bit more wild if you want to be Goggsy.
Exactly.
I know. That would have been my hair probably when I got up this morning, Goggsy's natural hairstyle. But yeah, guys, how we doing? End of season?
Yeah, I know. I'm pleased to see the back of this season for sure, certainly as a United fan. Should we do the quick intros in Goggsy's absence? Do you want to kick off Goggsy 2 Ewan? Or there we go, Goggsy 1's back.
Well, he's back again.
Man, I can't believe this. It was absolutely fine for 20 minutes while speaking to you all, and then all of a sudden, shite. Who's taking over for me?
Ewan was going to be
me
Goggsy
for
too.
a little spell. I was winging it for you.
You could all take part.
Goggsy, the draw's been done, mate, up the road.
I know. Absolutely knackering, eh? Anyway, today we've been joined by Lachlan, Andy, and Ewan, all from Open Goals Fan Forum, if you're familiar with that. How are we all doing, Trips?
All good. All good, Goggsy.
I've been better representing the lower leagues, but like there you are. Nice lower league fan. I did like my pitch on the Open Goal stuff when I offered to be the championship correspondent, and Sai correctly pointed out that no one cares about the championship, so that's
which hasn't actually been uploaded yet, so so sort of left in the dark there.
It's all right, Andy. You might have a second person to join you on the championship one, given the way we finished this season. So every time I've done Open Goal, we've progressively got worse. So I'm fully expecting to be doing a lap of shame at the next one in 12 months' time. So.
Brilliant. Anyway, so we'll get into the pots that are seedings. First and foremost, in pot 1, we've got St Mirren, Motherwell, Livingston, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, Ross County, Dundee United, and Dundee. In pot 2, it gets interesting. Ayr United, Queen's Park, Partick Thistle, Greenock Morton, Inverness, Raith Rovers, Arbroath, and Hamilton Accies. In pot 3, Cove Rangers, Dunfermline Athletic, Falkirk, Airdrie, Alloa, Queen of the South, Edinburgh, Montrose. Pot 4, Kelty Hearts, Clyde, Peterhead, Stirling Albion, Dumbarton, and an Athletic, East Fife and Forfar. And in pot 5, Stenhousemuir, Stranraer, Bonnyrigg Rose, Elgin City, Albion Rovers, Spartans, Brecon City, and in the most bizarre turn of events, Cowdenbeath. We'll get into that in a wee bit, but gentlemen, I'll go to Lachlan first. What would you say is your preferred draw out of this?
I took a wee note. Obviously, pot 2 is an obvious one. Being a Kelly fan, it's Ayr United, of course. I believe we would be at home as well if history, repeats itself. But it would probably be the complete opposite in the SPFL. But no, Ayr at home I would take just for obvious reasons. If no, the likes of Partick or whatever would be fine as well. Pot 3, I believe that's away. So just for something a bit different, I put Edinburgh or Alloa. Just I've been to Alloa personally, but I don't remember the last time Kelly were there. And obviously Edinburgh having a new kind of ground.
Which looks rubbish. Looks absolutely rubbish.
Awful. It is awful. It's absolutely awful.
But a day out in the capital, that'd be nice on a wee sunny Saturday. So I'll take that. And then pot 4, I believe that's at home again. So I just put Forfar because I believe they were the kind of lowest ranked team in the league that's in that pot. That's just one of they turn up and hope to. And then away, I actually put Stranraer because I was there a couple of years ago covering Stranraer.
It's fantastic away day.
So I was there. I was covering Darvel when they beat Stranraer, and I thought how great this would be. because there's a train you can get for Ayrshire to Stranraer, obviously, and it'll be just a right good away day. So I put Stranraer, but I would, just somewhere a bit like a Bonnyrigg, take whoever just for a wee something different.
Fair dues. Ewan of Talk Livy podcast, what would you say is your favourite draw?
I've been to most of the grounds before, so I've been to Arbroath. It's just the once I went for a midweek game a number of years ago, so I wouldn't mind a wee trip to Gayfield for a wee change. It's also close. My dad stays in Forfar, so decent enough away trip for him to make. It's more of a home game than the usual. Edinburgh City, again, just to see the new Meadowbank, even though it's absolutely horrendous. I've seen Livy playing at Meadowbank against Edinburgh City before, but prior to the kind of the redevelopment. Again, just looking at grounds I've maybe no been to for a while. Kelty Hearts, no been to Kelty Hearts before. Stirling Albion, not been there in a while, so maybe there. And I have a slight affiliation to Spartans. I coach with Spartans, so they're obviously one promotion to League Two. So getting Spartans in the draw would be nice and sentimental for myself. Yeah, it's all down to me.
Totally news.
Those 3 and 4 year olds that I've been coaching for the last 5 years are the reason Spartans are in League Two. That's pretty much it. It's all down to me, Andy.
Fantastic. Andy of DUFC Stats on Twitter. Let us know what your favourite draw would be.
Yeah, so well, thanks for having me on, despite being a fan of a lower league side now. So we get to despite finishing bottom, we get to be a top seed, which seems quite good. We didn't really need to do much to secure our top seed status there, but I saw that there's a possibility of an all Angus draw. I'm actually not based, you can probably tell by my accent, I'm not based in Dundee despite being a big United fan. So United could get Arbroath pot 2, Montrose pot 3, Forfar pot 4, and Brecon pot 5 for like a kind of all Angus draw. But for me, I don't know if we saw Queen's Park's announcement this morning. I'm still trying to understand precisely what that means. Because it seems like they're playing at Lesser Hampden until September and then moving into Hampden. I don't know if there will be fans at Lesser Hampden. Is it finished? If so, why are they moving in? I don't really know. If it had been at Lesser Hampden, I'd been concerned there might be a ticket scramble, but it looks like our league games are now going to be at the Big Hampden. But on the assumption it's at Lesser Hampden, I would quite like to go there. So I would have them probably as my kind of pick from kind of pot 2. Pot 3, again, Edinburgh's meant to be rubbish. We've all said it's rubbish, but I'd still like to go. It's one to tick off the list. I've been to Meadowbank before. It's be interesting to see what it's like. Montrose is always a really good away day as well. And I've not been to Cove, certainly to see a game anyway, so I would quite like that. Does it work that the top seeds, by the way, have the 2nd and 4th seeds at home? Is that how it works? Right. Yeah. So maybe actually, when I was saying Queen's Park, I was maybe... for pot 2, that's maybe not going to work then, because my next one would have been Annan for pot 4, but if we've got them at home, I'm maybe less concerned. I would quite like to go down to Annan. I've heard that it's actually quite a good...
It's a class
day.
Fun fact for you, Livy, I've never won at Annan.
How many games have you played?
I think it's 4 visits there. I think we've had two league games and 2 cup ties there and never won.
There you go. And then pot 5, so that I like the look of all the pot 5 trips. Maybe at Stenhousemuir's maybe the kind of most kind of boring one. Brecon would be quite a good one. My wife's from Brecon, so it'd be an excuse to kind of like shoehorn like a wee trip up there and go to that. But Bonnyrigg Rose also appeals. I would quite like to go to Bonnyrigg. So there's a few new trips there. So pot 5, I kind of feel that any of the trips would be quite exciting to potentially go to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go for my ideal group. I've got Motherwell, Hamilton Accies, of course. It's been a while since we've had the derby against them, albeit we've had quite a poor record against them in recent times. I'd also love Cove Rangers away. I mean, a lot of people have said to me on Twitter, basically it's a terrible away day. It's like an industrial area that's away from anywhere transport wise, but I don't care. As long as it's a ground that I can tick off, I'll be more than happy to go. Obviously, Airdrie in pot 3 as well would be quite appealing. I've also not seen us play at Montrose or Alloa. I've seen us play Queen of the South 3 times in this thing, so I don't want Queen of the South. In pot 4, I've taken Forfar Athletic just to be boring. And in pot 5, Motherwell haven't played Bonnyrigg or Spartans or or at Elgin in recent memory. So happily take either of them, really. But I think we can all agree that the best thing that they've done is de-regionalise the competition because it got really boring.
You said you were playing Clyde every single season, Lachlan.
Aye, it felt like that. Clyde, and I'm trying to think, there was another couple of teams. I think we played Albion a couple of times, possibly, and it just got a bit stale. I think Goggsy was doing the same.
Yeah, we played Annan 3 times. We've got an aggregate score of 11-1 against them.
The thing I used to enjoy most about the regionalised draw was the fact that Hearts and Hibs managed to be in one half of the draw, yet Edinburgh City managed to be in the separate half of the draw, despite all being in the same city. I could never quite understand how the SFA managed to figure that one out.
Remember, Dumbarton were in the north side at one point as well. Just because of how it works out, even though they were like the furthest possible away day, because they're on the other side of the country.
I'm pretty sure we've been in both halves of the draw as well at some point, just the way it's worked out.
Was last year the first deregionalised one?
Yes.
I
don't know. We were too busy enjoying ourselves in Europe, right? So
I don't know about enjoying ourselves, but
first leg was all right. But yeah, Jack Ross won more games in Europe than Postecoglou last season. Just saying. So.
But Kelly's first game and the first time it was deregionalised was Fraserburgh away, so that's it doesn't get much better than that.
That's pretty good. That's what a 9-hour round trip for you, is it, Lachlan?
Aye, it wasn't far off. I didn't actually go myself. I had a prior engagement, but a few of my pals went up and they said it was a good away day. So,
definitely.
But I wouldn't be far off that. So,
it's certainly something that I would consider a good away day. Like, I'm disappointed Bucky Thistle didn't make it in because, of course, Cowdenbeath have been added in, and as someone who lived in Fife, I've been to Cowdenbeath probably about 5 or 6 times. So that's not something that entices me to go back.
I don't think there's anything that entices anyone to Cowdenbeath, to be honest.
Stock car racing. You ever been to that?
Aye, stock cars.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Boot it out on the whistle so they can get the cars in.
Aye, ball boys have got to be careful in case the ball gets punted at the pitch and then you've got to get hit by a car.
I just always found Central Park slightly more like a high security prison than it ever did a football ground because of the fences and that round it with the barbed wire at the top. It looked more like something for Prison Break than the SPFL, to be honest.
I definitely completely agree there. So it's on the Viaplay YouTube channel, isn't it?
What stars have they got doing the draw for us?
Don't actually know. No, advertise it very well.
I love how when you type in on YouTube the Viaplay Cup group stage draw, we are up second on the recommended.
There you go.
Even funny.
I mean, it's exciting stuff to draw. I remember being on a stag do in Bratislava 5 years ago, and me and a Dundee fan of mine, I think he's watching, hi Ian, went to try and find somewhere in Bratislava to try and stream it, but we couldn't find anywhere, so I had to stream it on our phone with fans that were not enjoying it at all. The other guys in it, but there you go. You've got to find out to draw some way.
Oh, always. For me, that's the most exciting part of a cup competition. Is the draw. Then the games just fizzle out. Really. But yeah, so we'll quickly run through the pots again. St Mirren, Motherwell, Livingston, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, Ross County and Dundee United in pot 1. In pot 2, Ayr, Queen's Park, Partick Thistle, Green at Morton, Inverness, Raith Rovers, Arbroath, Hamilton Accies. Pot 3, Cove Rangers, Dunfermline, Falkirk, Airdrie, Alloa, Queen of the South, Edinburgh and Montrose. Pot 4, Kelty Hearts, Clyde, Peterhead, Stirling Albion, Dumbarton, Annan Athletic, East Fife and Forfar. And pot 5, Stenhousemuir, Stranraer, Bonnyrigg, Elgin, Albion, Spartans, Brecon City and Cowdenbeath. Just such an uninspiring end to that pot right there. Cowdenbeath. I'm sure there's lovely people from Cowdenbeath watching this stream right now, but I'm sorry.
Big Donald Finlay.
Make Coonbeath great again. It's mad to think though, like teams like Brecon and Coonbeath were once in the championship and all of a sudden got a wee parachute down to like.
Yeah, I think that might be the worst thing that happened to Brecon getting promoted, because they then had that season where they got, what was it, 4 points or something like that,
4
and it just seemed they were in like free fall then for the next kind of 3 years. They were kind of saved by COVID, kind of fudging the relegation. But I mean, they seem to be on the way up. I mean, they only lost, I think, 1 game in the Highland League last season. I was disappointed that Spartans came up, obviously, but yeah.
But Ewan isn't.
Yeah, Ewan isn't.
Who's this presenting it? I don't actually know who this guy is.
Yeah. Just on the live streaming, somebody's like, right, Specky. Thank God I took my glasses off and I did get my phone.
Oh, they've got it's Michael Stewart and Callum Beatties from the SPFL, but I don't know who the host is.
Oh, Manpreet's commented Specky double. Oh, metal. He'll still be hungover from Dingwall.
Yeah, that was a sore one for them. Like, I mean, I thought I'm old enough to remember United beating Partick in the playoff like 25, 30 years ago, but with a last-minute goal. But that was only one last-minute goal and one in extra time. That it was unbelievable. See the second goal that Partick scored, like, because like the penalty is quite soft, but you're still thinking, right, 20 minutes to go. But the second goal, I've never seen a team obviously panic so much as Partick did. I don't know if you were watching it. Like, they just put it like straight out, like a really bad pass. The guy then puts it straight out for a throw in, and then like Alex Samuel turns the defender. It was like 3 or 4 phases of play where they just all looked completely terrified, and then of course it's back to 3-2, and you could see the fear. It was quite funny. You could see like the different phases of like the Partick fans going from like gloating and chanting to then genuine panic, and then like the absolute torment. It was great.
Some clubs just don't do the playoffs.
So yeah. Thankfully, the one time we were in the playoff, we absolutely spanked Rangers. So
that was really enjoyable. I think that was.
Yeah. I think it was enjoyable for 41 out of the 42 member clubs in the SPFL.
Yeah, Cammy Bell backpedaling. It's definitely an iconic kind of playoff image. The playoffs have been great though. I mean, they are generally. I mean, all of the ties have had kind of. I'm trying to think what the worst one is. There's not really been that many kind of, because even the biggest win was Motherwell beating Rangers, which was probably the funniest one for that very reason, right? So, but that aside, the majority have been relatively close. I know Kilmarnock kind of beat Falkirk quite heavily, Lachlan, but you'd lost the first leg, so it wasn't.
Taken into the second leg.
Yeah, totally.
I think one of the all-time classic ones since they brought the playoffs back in is probably our semi-final against yourselves, Andy, at Tannadice. Not that I'm just trying to bring it up, but it genuinely
the only person having a bigger meltdown in Tannadice than me that night was Willow Flood, I reckon. I was there was guys
for
clapping.
That reason, that's another reason why it's just so iconic.
There was guys clapping Willow Flood off the pitch, so I went to that classic thing where you start arguing with your own supporters because I'm like, why are you like clapping him? Like, so yeah, total lost the cool, but that was a complete disaster.
I enjoyed it. I've got half a seat from Tannadice that night.
Did you?
Brilliant.
Celebrating Josh Mullen's equaliser.
It looked pretty good in the shed. So yeah, it was and we were that was the worst United. I mean, United have had some really bad sides the last 8 years or so, but I think that side at the back end of 2008, the 2017-18 season was just awful, really, really bad.
All right, that's him getting on there.
Oh, here we go. Finally. Well, actually, they've been quite quick. It's only 4 minutes they've wasted. Usually it's about 15-20 minutes.
And is it confirmed, right, that it's seed? So the top seeds get 2 and 4 at home and then 3 and 5 away. Is that yeah? That's definitely
historically that's how it's always been. Because like when we've had like Queens Park who are seeded 5, Stranraer seeded 5 in previous rounds, and like we had them away.
Well, I didn't think they did the seedings for 3 to 5 4. I thought it was only like the first and second seed, and then it was like a free for all underneath that.
It used to be, but I think they changed it last year. Because you could have got like the 2 teams from Tier 5 and then a League 2 team in the same group, but now they've completely changed it.
Which is a shame. Well, that's what you want. A group
I know, exactly.
a grouper. You
What's the opposite of death? Group of life.
know.
I like how they're just rattling through it. That's quite good.
Well, I mean, there's not much when you're just picking the first ball out. It's which letter you're going to write. But C United and B and third seeds Livy.
At least it's not like UEFA, who you've got you can't have like a team from Kosovo playing a team from Serbia or something like that.
I know.
Oh, Group G, that's the one to look out for. Excellent.
Plug in my wee, Gogsy, I'd wondered if you'd put this together because we were discussing yesterday that Motherwell are the most successful side in the group stage. Is the only one to have got through Aberdeen and Rangers who've only been in it once. You're 5 from 5. The only
5 from 5.
The only side with an 100% record to get out of the group stage. Although Livy are what 6 in a row, you in?
Yeah, 6 in a row. The only season we didn't get through was the first season, and we were in League One at the time as well. So we won our group 4 years on the bounce, and then been best runner-up in the last 2. So we've got a pretty decent record. Our League Cup record's so much better than our Scottish Cup record.
There you go, United Partick Thistle. There you go. So all the Partick fans have just slagging now. They get a chance to maybe enjoy themselves up there.
That'd be an interesting group, like.
No way for Kelly.
Livy Hamilton, you and what do you think?
I'll take Hamilton Ackies. That would have been my other one, probably to take from that group, but it's one of the lowest ranked ones in pot 2. So
good. County and Greenock Morton. Dundee will play
Cali. They always seem to get Cali in the group stages. They seem to have quite a lot. It's like when Rangers and Elgin used to play each other all the time when Rangers were in the 3rd division. It seemed like that anyway.
Kelly and Wraith. Oh, who have we got? Number
Queen's
10.
Park. So, but it's at home, right? So you're not going to
Park. Thank God there's no ticket scramble.
Yeah.
I'm glad about that. And the last time that Motherwell played Queen's Park at Far Park, we beat them 4-0 in the Scottish Cup. Henrik Oyama's debut. That was a good day. That.
Is that off the top of your head or pre-prepared?
No, off the top of my head. We've played.
Disappointing. You've not got a stat about every team Motherwell related.
Right, what happened to Oyama? He was a good player, right?
He got fat. We sold him to Legia Warsaw for
Dundee United Partick Falkirk. That's an interesting. So we trip to Falk. So a trip to Falkirk, that'll be for United. So hopefully not hearing Is This the Way to Amarillo. They really need to update their song list. But I've been seeing United having lost 6-1 at Falkirk a few years ago.
2 years on the bounce.
Cool for you. 3 years on the bounce.
2 years on the bounce.
2 years.
Is that, and have you been up to Coves Ground before, you?
I was up there last year, down to 10 men. Ismig and Calves tried to kick someone and missed twice, got sent off. Went 1-0 down at half time, but goals from Io Obalai and the recently departed Nicky Devlin won us the game. So,
Lachlan, you got Dunfermline. That's quite a tasty group. So
aye, take that.
That's quite a tough group, I would say, Dunfermline and Rafe, right?
Yes.
22.
Queen of the South.
For
so
fuck's
sake.
That's the fourth time. That's the fourth time we've got Queen of the South in the 7 years of the.
I know, despite it not being regionalised, right? There seems to be some of the groups anyway are kind of like just falling into that pattern anyway, right?
We've had Ackies twice in our group, I think, since the League Cup came in.
St Mirren are still on for the All Angus group, right? Because they've got Arbroath Montrose, so they just need 4 for Brecon to complete that. So,
God.
They're fair rattling through
it. The two queens. We actually had that.
Your head for United.
We actually had that in our group. The last time we were actually in the group thing, we had the 2 Queens teams, and we also had Airdrie and
Clyde for ourselves.
Clyde for yourself. So Lachlan, you're passing them over to Livy this time.
Yes, enjoy.
Pass on to the plastic brother.
See the Dutch leagues have got rid of the plastic pitches in the top flight.
From 2025.
Idiots.
Well,
Tim Pot League, I've always said it, they're Eredivisie. Not having plastic pitches on.
I don't know how many there are in the Championship next year because we've obviously avoided you. Hamilton went down. They've got one.
Airdrie came up though.
Airdrie have a plastic pitch.
East Fife Oh, brilliant. East Fife at home. Superb.
You're a Fifer, Gogsy?
I am. Well, originally I
An
lived
away
in
day
Fife.
for you, but a home game for Motherwell.
Aye, but it'll be at home for us so it'll be at Far Park. I can't remember the last time we played East Fife at home. I mean, we played them in 2015-16, beating 3-1 after extra time. That was a harrowing night.
Stenhousemuir are first out, so that's good because that was the only one I didn't fancy in pot 5. So St Johnstone are going there, and United's last away trip is to the Spartans. So there you go, Ewan.
So
you
close.
What age group do you coach again?
I coach anything from the age of 3 to 11, so you
Right,
won't
okay.
see any of my players.
Right. Okay.
Not for the now, anyway.
Brecon City.
That's
I tried to see the hedge. I tried to see the almighty hedge.
Superb.
During the COVID season, United got Brecon away, and I was actually living in Brecon at the time. We were staying up just to be close to my wife's family. We'd stayed up there for 6 months, and United had Brecon at the Glebe, and so I went along just to see if I could kind of nosy in. And there was these United fans that had literally climbed up. So next to the edge, there's a wall, it's pretty high, and they were like, "Oh, come on, you're coming up like that." And I was like, "Okay, like that, a little bit outside my comfort zone." So basically, spent the entire time holding onto the wall, looking in.
Elgin City away! Come on! We've not played Elgin at Borough since 1970s. Superb. Love that.
Andy, I'll do you a swap with Brecon for Spartans.
No,
I would say that.
I
don't know if it counts as being to a game between the sides hanging on the wall, not having paid to get in. One of the guys from the directors or someone at Brecon walked over to me. He's like, "You're fine, guys, as long as you don't fall in and hurt yourself." It's like, well. But we won 6-2. It was a good game, and it was the only game I saw in the COVID season. So,
hopefully that's on a Saturday. Oh man, I'm so happy about that.
Guaranteed.
Why the excitement at Elgin, Gogsy? Just because it's a new ground, or
new ground for me to see Motherwell? I've been to Elgin City once before, and that was just because I was in the area and they were playing Celtic reserves in a friendly. So I just went to tick off the ground. But yes. First time I've seen Motherwell play Elgin.
I'll be away. I'll take that. Good laugh.
Well, that's a good one, Lachlan, because when you might not get a chance. Have you been to Clifton Hill?
I have a while ago.
Place is covered in
bush. It wasn't for Kelly though. It wasn't Kelly they were playing. So, I thought it interesting.
We had Albion Rovers first game of the group stage last season, but I remember going there, I think when we were in League One, it was maybe the last day of the season. I just remember seeing one of the subs pissing on one of the floodlights. So that just sums up Clifton Hill in a nutshell, to be honest. Really it actually improved it, which is quite remarkable.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I've not been. I would like to go. I don't know, because the 42 now changes, right? I think I was at like 30 odd of the 42 grounds, but it's kind of changing now with new teams coming in. I don't know what you guys are at.
Yeah, I got to 40, but
okay. So what were the two you were missing?
The two I was missing was Ayr United and Cove Rangers.
Ayr, right, okay.
Ayr, yeah. Motherwell played Ayr twice at Somerset in my lifetime, but I was too young to go because they were midweek games.
I'm missing Kelty and Bonnyrigg. That's the only two I've not been to. Been to all the others, and the only reason I missed Bonnyrigg, I would have went and saw our B team in the SPFL Trophy last year. However, I just had hernia surgery earlier in the afternoon, so couldn't really get from the opposite side of Glasgow to Bonnyrigg in time while I was doped up on drugs. So yeah,
that's probably a reasonable excuse for missing Bonnyrigg versus Livingston B.
I know.
Not even the first team. Bonnyrigg. But
yeah, doped up to go to that game, to be fair.
So Lachlan, what's your thoughts on your group?
I think it's actually potentially a banana skin group, to be honest. Looking at it, Wraith, they're strengthening well for what I've been seeing in Dunfermline. They'll be looking to kick off well. Maybe speaking too soon, but I don't think Annan should be too much problems at home, and then Albion away should win that. But but McInnes, he doesn't like treating us as friendly, so he will be taking it, seriously. But I think there is potential there, especially Dunfermline away could be tricky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ewan, what's your thoughts on your group?
Very happy with it. 3 teams that have been relegated just at the tail end of the season there, in Hamilton, Cove and Clyde, and then Brecon City being in the Highland League as well. if we weren't to take 12 points from 12, I would be slightly disappointed. But yeah, I mean, home game against Hamilton Accies, I would expect us to win that. And then I think the way you guys are talking, it would be Clyde at home as well. So again, I would expect to win those games pretty comfortably.
Yeah. And Andy, what do you think of Dundee United's group?
Yeah, well, I'm excited to go to Spartans. I think that'll be a kind of good away trip to get. I think there's a couple of kind of tougher seeds, the second and third seeds. But I think that it's difficult, right? Our goal has to be promotion, this season. But I take the point as well. There's no point in not taking the group stages seriously, and we've got a huge rebuild to do. And that we're just now, I think, sitting down with guys trying to get them out the door. I don't know how many we'll be able to actually sell for money. I suspect maybe Levitt and Beat a push, and the rest it'll be just a case of maybe trying to move on. And God knows what wages some of them are on, and then obviously get guys in. There was chat maybe Jim Goodwin might try and get Charles Dunn in, but we're going to need 6, 7, 8 signings. So we'll not be up to speed during the group stages. I think signings will still be coming in. But I mean, yeah, Partick and Falkirk are kind of tough teams. Partick obviously should have probably been promoted had they not completely shat the bed, and Falkirk I suspect will be favourites to finally get out of League One. Peterhead beat us at Tannadice during the COVID season, so yeah, tricky, and then Spartans be interesting.
Yeah. As for myself, Motherwell, Queen's Park, Queen of the South, East Fife, and Elgin City. Queen's Park, we've got a very good record against. I have only seen us concede once against Queen's Park in the 4 times in my life that we've played them. Also, Queen of the South, it'll be the 4th time that we've played them in the group stage. We've beaten them all 3 times so far. East Fife, we've only seen us play them once, so it'll be interesting to have them at home. And Elgin City, we last played them at Borough Briggs in the 70s or 80s when we drew 1 each in a friendly. My dad was at that one in a Highland tour that we had. We also played Forest Mechanics that week. But it'll be an interesting group. Like, I have to expect 12 points from 12. Kettlewell will not be taking this lightly either. I think he'll have the same sort of attitude as McInnes at Kilmarnock. So, like, if we don't get out the group, then there's something wrong. But we'll see how it goes.
It's interesting with there only being 3 runners-up that go through now rather than 4. It kind of probably means that you're kind of like 9 points, I would have thought, minimum to get a chance of going through type thing.
Yeah.
We got through last year on 9 points as a best runner-up, and the year before we managed to get through on 8. But as you say,
but that would be with the 4 runners-up.
The number of places. So,
it just goes down to basically you have to win a game 6 or 7-0 to basically secure it, because there will be a team that's a top seed that will slip up. There always is, and then there's a pot 2 or pot 3 team that sometimes wins the group. So just hopefully that's not my group.
Yeah, well, Annam won the group from League 2 last year, didn't they? So
yeah, and they had a fantastic season.
Good. And Kelly's good stuff.
I'm just scared for our away games, given that we haven't scored an away goal since the 14th of January in the league. Certainly, the last goal we scored away from home was the 21st of January in the Scottish Cup. So, yeah, I'm kind of hoping.
Beacon. Surely, I mean,
I'd like to think I might see an away goal come July.
I'm a bit like that with Kelly. It took Kelly 13 months to win away from home. So
13 months.
Jesus. You got the hang of it in the end, Lachlan, unfortunately.
Well,
were you at Tannadice for the game?
Yes, I was at it. It was relatively comfortable, thanks to you guys, I think, to be fair, more than anything. So
yeah, it's pretty mildly, yeah.
Seems like a theme of your season, though, for what I've seen. So
yeah.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for coming on. Lachlan, where can we find you on the internet, mate?
You can get me on Twitter at Lockie Hyatt, LOCKY, and then my surname, HIGHET. That's the best place to find me. But obviously, I do the sports stuff for the Kilmarnock Standard. So if you're passing through and want to pick up a paper, you'll see my name in it.
Fantastic. Ewan, where can we find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me personally on Twitter at rankin_Ewan, and you can also find Top Livy Podcast at Top Livy on the usual sites as well. But that's on Twitter.
And Andy, where can we find you on the internet?
So I'm at DUFC Stats, so next season mostly tweeting stats about the Scottish Championship and Dundee United losing at various venues, no doubt, for the first time in a number of years.
Fantastic. And you can find me right here on Goggs99 on YouTube. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming on, and I've appreciated your company during this draw. And we'll be back very soon with some more content for the 23-24 season. Thank you very much. Goodbye.